beautiful hardwood and the earthy scent of old books that is permeating through the air. So this is a 2-story building, and both stories are just filled with books. And in fact, there's actually 3 stories. And it's just jam-packed full of all kinds of books, and it's a huge library. And there's more shelves of books than you've ever seen before. And Woocraft, you're going to like this because the shop is owned and managed by a short dragonborn of gold dragon ancestry named Rashal the Page Turner. So I will also put that name in there for you in chat. And, you know, of course, as you're getting to know the Dragonborn lives here as well on the 3rd floor. But part of the 3rd floor is also a library as well. And he also says that he's part of he's also a member of the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors. As you guys say that, hey, you know, we're going to be, you know, getting with the guilds and we're going to reopen the manor. He goes, oh, I'm part of the Mage Guild, blah, 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 the Magists and Protectors Guild. And, of course, you can tell that he's one with the arcane arts because you see that, you know, he has a spell pouch. He has all kinds of he carries a couple of different wands on his belt. So, but he does sell spells, and if you need any kind of scrolls, you can have them for 10% off as well. And he says, welcome to Troll Skull Alley.
Yay! We made it!
So this is everything in Troll Skull Alley.
Hey, what about T7?
You don't need to worry about that yet. You may find, but you do know that as you guys are passing by that area, I will say this: it stinks because it is a huge sewer grate. And
excuse me,
there was a couple of the street cleaners from the Street Cleaners Guild. They were pouring chemicals down into it, and they were wearing masks and stuff because it just stunk like high hell as you guys are walking past it. So there you go. Those are all of the different places of business that you guys can take advantage of and get some discounts for now being a member, well, a business owner here in the alley, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah, and you guys, anytime you guys want to buy anything and you're here in Waterdeep, you guys just pay for it with a 10% discount, and that'll be good. And just add it to your sheet. So what say you guys? What are some of the things that you guys want to do to, you know, because I mentioned this, all of the different plasterers, the woodworkers, they all want to, you know, they want all of you to have some type of input in the, you know, basically the layout and how this place is going to look. You know, basically all of the decor. So what each of you, what do you think you want to do? I know Donk, I know you already want you and Woocraft, you want to do the wrestling and stuff. So a pit can be made outside. That would be pretty cool. Gosh.
Yeah, is there room in the alley somewhere where we could have like a little ring?
Yeah, I would
Donk
say
be happy with giant mud puddle.
I would say right here would probably be a good place around here. Yeah.
Donk, you don't have to do this. I know you'll win every match, but you don't have to do this because we'll probably get sued for injuring them too much. But if you want to do it, you can do it.
Donk like to wrestle in poop puddle.
But if we get sued, you're paying for it, right?
But do not use weapons. Only use your fists.
Donk fist is his weapon.
Okay.
All participants must sign a release waiver.
Right.
They must sign a contract that they'll not sue us.
Urka, do you want to put a stage in there so you can sing your Urka song, whatever it is?
I forgot to tell you, by the way, Urka, that my character has bagpipes.
Oh, lovely traditional song to go along with those bagpipes. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, next time you want to break out, I'll get some bagpipe music and put it over here, and then you can just start doing the magical.
So how did our conversation with Lift go? Does he have any other associates that, are we going to go with an undead theme, or?
I'll allow that. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, sure, Lift can, as he's in the interdimension between the world of the dead and the world of the living, sure, he can find some other poltergeists to come in and work. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. They don't speak, but of course they can.
No, that's
go
fine.
around
They don't have to.
pieces of parchment with ink quills and stuff and kind of write on them.
Plus, we can ask vampires, any undead that we find, we can offer them jobs.
Yeah, that would work really good. All of a sudden, you're going to have a bunch of dead patrons that start showing up in boxes in your basement.
You know what? That would be pretty good because the people would just be dying to get in.
It did take me a while to figure it out, but I did roll that persuasion check a while.
What food are we gonna sell if we're gonna open a business?
I don't know what kind. Well, you're going to hire a chef, probably. I would imagine, right?
No, Donk, best cooker around.
Well, you're not going to stay there all the time. You got to go out adventuring with everybody else, so you can help cook.
Maybe we could get a mummy to be the chef.
I think that's sexist.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden his arm falls off into the soup, right? So I'm sorry, refresh my mind. What was the persuasion check for again, Urka?
To talk about what was in the ghost guy's past.
Oh,
Does he have any friends?
He actually, he definitely can find you some other poltergeists to help run the manor, which he is totally ecstatic about, because he was, this place has been just running down over the years, and nobody has done anything with it. And when basically what happened when Volo bought it, Volo, figured out how much it was going to cost, and I guess Volo didn't have the money, and so Volo just kind of he's had this for a couple of months, and Lift just saw that he was doing nothing with it, so it was frustrating Lift, so that's why he was throwing stuff at Volo, because Volo was the new owner and doing nothing about it. But he had worked. He actually worked into his, seeing that he's a half elf. He worked here for a couple hundred years before he died. So that's why he's kind of hung around the entire time, is because he just doesn't want to let go of this place. And he's just totally ecstatic that you guys are going to be investing money and opening this place back up.
Can you give an image of what he looks like?
He looks like sort of like a ghost, basically.
You can see through him.
Yeah, he's.
It's like that SpongeBob episode, like where they turn into ghosts.
Yeah. So yeah, he's transparent. You can see through him. Yep. Maybe a wish spell would bring him back to life. I don't know.
I was going to also suggest talking to, what was it, the Dragonborn at the bookstore or the scroll store. Maybe we could get a couple of apprentice mages down there to do some cantrip trickery with, voices for the undead, or
that's a good idea.
Pyrotechnics and stuff every once in a while, and get them for cheap and let them practice their craft.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And why don't you add yourself an inspiration for that, because that's such a great idea. And yeah, that'll be as part of basically your every 10-day fee for upkeep and for the guilds. So yeah, he'll send a couple down a couple nights a week, and they'll do some shows for your guest. That's a great idea.
If everybody else is down with that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Dante, what about you?
What about me? Yeah, so
Jello in the mud wrestling pit with the women. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's he spent most of his life on ships so far, so he's busy making the place ship shape and Bristol fashion, and making sure everything is polished and clean, and if it's broken, fixing it. So he spends his time just helping the other craftspeople repair the place. He doesn't really care about what as far as the decor is. But once all the surfaces to be clean, the deck swab, everything in its place, and have it ready to go. So he's being kind of a neat freak.
Yeah, no problem. And you can train your new employees that, you have all your poltergeists. Liff will make sure that they're all doing their duty. So, yeah, pretty cool. Anybody else have any last things before we move on? I think it's pretty cool to do something like this. This is the first time that in any of my games I've had my players actually have a business that could actually make or lose money. So this is definitely going to be interesting to, see how it plays out and to see if, you can pay back the money to your investors, which is pretty cool. I'm excited for it.
Donk want to sell donk snacks that donk like to make, like eyeballs of rats in a big stew. Quite good. Donk makes very good.
It's like
or
appetizers.
Maybe Donk likes to eat moss, good moss. So Donk will sell as many yummy snacks because Donk good cooker.
Liff is just behind Donk shaking his head no. Too good.
I'd like to take a minute and kind of just take off in flight and kind of just circle above the area and take it all
then
in.
Crip on everybody.
Yeah, I'm really excited, but I don't want to show everybody, so I'm just really proud of myself for joining this group and doing it all, so I'm just hovering it around and taking it all in.
Nice.
Make sure bird don't poop, says Donk.
Yeah, it says.
I aim especially for Donk.
Bombardier away. So your 14 days go by, everybody. It's a tough 14 days. You guys are, using a lot of elbow grease and wearing yourself out and working hard and sweating, and you guys get the manor to press along with the help of the other guilds. The manor is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. You're ready to open up for business. So just really quickly, how much did you want to spend on advertising?
I'd say 20 or 25.
20 gold piece will do it.
Okay.
Let's go 20.
Okay, 20, that's fine. We'll take, I'll go ahead and I'll put advertising for period. And we'll go ahead and we won't take any money out. We'll do that every 10 days for the advertising. So you do 20 gold, which is cool. So that's going to give you a plus 20 on your roll whenever it's time to find out how you did for the first 10 day. So very nice. So you guys are ready. It's the night before. You guys everything's done. There's no dust anywhere. There's not anything that has been left unturned. Everything is beautiful. All the rooms to rent are absolutely beautiful with fresh white clean sheets.
Here's a question. How is that guy going to communicate? He always draws the dust.
Well, they'll know. There will be someone at the door just saying, state what you want. And, of course, there will be some other people that aren't poltergeists. Poltergeists kind of letting everybody know what's going on. But, the theme is kind of like the undead scene.
Yeah, they'll knock on the counter. Yeah. We've got a code worked out.
Yeah. Blink once for yes, blink twice. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly.
What's your safe word?
Exactly.
Never mind.
What's your safe word? Moving on. As you guys are resting, relaxation. You're testing. You're tasting the menu that's going to be for sale, and you're testing all of the drinks, and you guys are really feeling good about this. And you turn in, and you get a great night's sleep. Everybody's so tired. You sleep throughout the night. You wake up the next morning. Everything
is burnt down. After all that, the whole place burns down.
That would be such a dick DM move. That would be like one of the dickest DM moves of all time. But no, that's not what happens. What happens is as you're testing the breakfast and the brunch menu with all of the different fruits, soups, breads, muffins, all of that good stuff. You know, you're sitting there, you've got about another 2 hours before the doors open up for business. There's starting to be a line accumulating around the building with all of your advertisement. It seems like word has gotten out that the Troll Skull Alley is fixing to open its doors again after a 20-year absence of doing business in the alley. And you guys are looking out the window, you're feeling good, you're sitting down, your feet are all kicked up, and then all of a sudden everything shakes and you hear an explosion, massive explosion, boom! And, you know, a couple of glasses fall onto the ground, you know, a couple of plates of food slide off the table, and of course, you know, your poltergeist servants are getting everything cleaned up, and you can hear a lot of chaos outside, a lot of screaming outside. And a massive explosion erupts. So what do you guys do as you hear all of this chaos going on outside?
Dantes is going to sprint up to the 4th floor and to the see if he can look out at the balcony or out the little tower that we've got on the building. See if he can't get a good view of what the heck's going on.
Sure, you skedaddle up, and then another little secondary explosion happens, and you know a lot of the windows are rattling. None of the windows burst or anything, not where you're at. But as you get up to the 4th floor, and whoever else is looking out of the window, you can see that there's a lot of smoke, a lot of debris, and you see several charred bodies on the ground. And you can see people just screaming, you know, all these anguished screams that are just flying through the air, piercing your ears. And there's that thick, acrid smoke that's billowing up from where it looks like the blast just down the hall, well, just down the road on Troll Skull Alley. But that's what you see as you're on the 4th floor and looking out of the 1st floor window, if anybody's there looking out.
Well, I'm going to have to grab my axe and, you know, start yelling and start kind of huffing and chugging downstairs so I can go out and see it all firsthand. So I'm yelling as I'm grabbing my axe, "Everybody, there's Big Boom!"
Yeah.
So where is this happening in the alley, Dave?
It's probably about 5 or 6 buildings away from you, down to the west. So around building T6 or so, right around Bookworm's Treasure.
Okay.
He finally did it. The Dragonborn blew himself up.
Yeah, right. Probably somewhere around in here, somewhere around in there. So yeah, as you grab your axe and you go outside, Donk, a lot of other people in the wake of this massive explosion, they're starting to emerge from their houses, businesses, shops, and everybody's kind of just looking around and surveying the devastation.
Well,
So,
I'm pretty tall. I should be able to see kind of over them and kind of get a good idea of what from the door, looking out in the distance where I can see the smoke billowing up. What's kind of the thought here?
Well, it's basically scorched the road and melted the wooden planks that are used for the roadway. The heat was so intense. You walk over that way and start to see that a lot of the rubble has been melted. So something was hot as hell, but no damage to the buildings. None of the buildings are on fire or anything like that. But as you get down there on the western end of the alley, you can see that as you get closer to the blast area, more and more windows have been blown out of the buildings, houses, etc. But there's quite a few people dead, and you can hear the murmurs of, oh my gosh, we've counted 11 dead people yet. And so you have a little bit of time, but you know that the city guard's probably going to arrive soon. The city watch, you probably think that the guilds are going to show up and start doing investigations and stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of chaos. But there's a talk of a female human is dead. There's a couple of cloaked male humans. They're dead. A couple of female humans. Another half-elf, well-dressed half-elf that was dead. There's a gnome that's dead, a male gnome. A couple of female halflings that were performers that were on the corner playing a flute and a fiddle. There were a couple of halflings dancing there that dead when something exploded. Oh, it's horrible. Chaos and madness everywhere.
So Dantes is looking at everyone in the crowd, and he's looking for people who don't belong there. So obviously, if someone's just walking away casually, so I'd like to do an investigation check or a perception check to see who shouldn't be there or who's not acting like, oh my gosh, there was just this explosion. So I'm looking for the perpetrator.
Yeah, sure. Give me a perception
I want to
check.
do the same as well.
That sounds good. Yeah, everybody that wants to do that, go ahead and give me a perception check.
And after that, after I scan the crowd pretty good, I'm gonna run down to the site of the blast.
All right, so it looks like pretty much all of you guys are going out. That's good. That's a good thing. All right.
Yeah, I'm going out airborne. Sorry, I should probably mention that.
No problem at all. Yeah, no problem at all. So I'll get to you in just a second as you're kind of flying around looking. But yeah, everybody had great rolls except for Donk. I think Donk might have been a little too flustered by the explosion or something like that, and he's wanting to just start smashing heads, so he may be starting to go into a raging fit. I don't know.
I'm looking for whoever looks the least bit guilty. All this death and destruction next to me. As soon as I see somebody that looks the least bit guilty, I'm going to hack them with my axe. So I'm just waiting for someone that's like running or that looks like they're guilty. So I'm going to keep my eye open.
Sure. So what I will say is, Epter and let's see, yeah, Epter, you're looking around, Donk. Urka, you're flying around, and as you guys are running out, Epter, Thala comes up to you, the owner of the Corellian's crown, and she says, "Oh, what happened? I can't believe this has happened. I was just watering my plants in my greenhouse, and this is the alchemist shop, and then all of a sudden, the windows just imploded on me. Thank goodness, and luckily I wasn't injured. But as I was trying to get my bearings, I was looking out of the window, and through the smoke, I saw a cloaked man down there in the corner, basically where she's pointing to where the arrow pointer is on the map." And she says, "Through the smoke, I saw this cloaked man. I don't know who this person was, but the dead gnome that was on the ground, it looks like a gnome, real small little tiny person. I think it's a gnome, but there was a cloaked man that was taking something from that gnome, and then the person walking away with the cloak was limping away. He probably was badly injured or burned. I don't know if he was just robbing the dead or what, or just an undesirable that may be here inside of the alley. But he looked peculiar because as he was walking away from the gnome, as he was running and limping away, he was casting glances over his shoulder, like he was afraid someone might have seen him do what he did, or might be following him. But he was heading towards the bent nail, actually. So he actually ran right past your establishment and looked like he turned down the northeast entrance here on the map. It says, yeah, I lost him as soon as he went on the alley. I lost him. And I hope there's not that many people injured down there. So that's basically what happened with you as you were, walking, and then as you were walking past, Fala came out and just started, chirping in your ear.
I want to see if I can get Urka's attention overhead and get her to come down. Is that possible?
Did you guys? I don't know. Did you guys work
Throw a
on
rock
any kind
at
of
her.
thing, or throw a rock at her?
No. I just, do I see her?
Once in a while, you can see her. She's kind of doing circles above the alley area.
Okay.
You gonna use that massive mirror and just point the sun's ray at her and burn her feathers down, or what?
I think you need to shake a box of crackers. That always works for my cat.
Gosh, does that really work for your cat?
Just pretending to open food. Yeah, she'll come running in.
So I will say this: as you're flying up above Urka, you can see that there is a barrel, and you could see someone perched ducking behind the barrel. Doesn't look like it's an adult. It looks like it could be like a gnome, maybe a halfling, or something like that. Now, as for Dante and Dante, I'm sorry. As you're walking outside, you run into a noble, and this noble just starts to converse with you, and basically, as you're around the tiger's eye, about here.
What happened? What happened?
Oh, hello, my friend. Oh, it's treacherous. I can't believe and he's got several cuts on his face too, from where several of the windows had been blasted in here at the Tiger's Eye, and you can definitely tell that this guy is probably a Waterdeep noble. Definitely looks like he's born of wealth and privilege. He's got all kinds of like bright, flamboyant colors on and stuff, and he's opening up the door of the Tiger's Eye and just conversing, with you, and he says, "Oh, good day, chap. Did you see what was going on? I was in here in the Tiger's Eye, and all of a sudden the windows just blasted in, and this tremendous amount of heat. Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! I see dead bodies all around. Oh."
Did you see who did it?
Yes, there was a big Goliath that I saw running from the accident. Big fat Goliath. I don't. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I probably would.
I put an X where Donk is standing. By the way, on the map.
I was looking out of the window trying to pull these shards of glass out of my face, and he's got blood trickling down, and he's wiping the blood and stuff. He says, I tell you, I saw something running on the rooftops. It looked like a puppet shaped like a man. It looked like a puppet moving without strings. It was definitely not a human, but it was on the rooftop. And I saw it hurl something into the crowd below, and that's when the explosion happened. And oh my gosh, when I looked out, I saw the halflings. They were on fire, screaming, "I'm on fire! Help me!" And they just collapsed. Oh my gosh, I saw them burn to death.
What rooftop? Where?
Points right across the street to this area of rooftops here.
I'm gonna run over there, and is there any way I can scale up and get on top of it?
Sure, if you want to do that, I would imagine you could do that.
If you're gonna run by me, are you gonna run by me, or are you running up to the rooftops here?
I'm going to run up to where the nobleman said there was someone on the roof.
Sure. He says he just keeps saying it wasn't human. It moved so gracefully like a puppet. And so as you're starting to run to the street, Urka, you can see Dante and Donk start to run across the street towards where the arrow is. And that's basically where you see a small person hiding behind a barrel too, kind of tucked under the rooftop.
Understood. I was gonna let out a big screech, just to notify everybody in our party
Caw-caw.
and head on.
Caw-caw! Like that third verse of your song. Caw-caw!
Exactly. A ring.
Oh, nice. So as you guys are running, both Donk and Dante's, all of a sudden you hear Urka do this screech, and she lands. Well, I don't know. Do you land, or do you land by the barrel, or what?
I say I
Circle
land
it,
right
or-
on top of the barrel.
Okay, she lands on a barrel, and some water kind of splashes, and behind this barrel, it's not a halfling, it's not a gnome, but it's a young boy, probably not even a teenager, and he's kind of, he looks like he's scared, kind of shaking a little bit, and he's got his hands clutched. And just before you start going into the buildings, Dante and Donk, you can see this. You can see, Urka, land, and you see the little boy behind the barrel and stuff.
Urka, there's something on the rooftops, a puppet thing, something. Go up, see if you can see it.
Erk! And I jump up.
All right, cool. You start to fly up, and initially you don't see anything, and then the boy, he looks up and he says, "You're not gonna," and he's a halfling as well. He's a halfling child, and he says, "You're not gonna hurt any more people, are you? You're not gonna hurt us, are you?"
What'd you see?
I all I saw was some red ball come off of the ceiling and land right on the corner where my friends were dancing and a couple of my other friends were performing, and it was like a little red ball, and then all of a sudden I saw this explosion, and I as I was ducking behind the barrel, all of a sudden I heard a plop in front of me in the barrel, and I looked and I found this, and it looks like this actually. Now I'm going to show you guys an image, and he goes, I found this, and I don't even know what it is, and he's kind of twirling it around on his fingers and stuff.
Do I have any idea what this is?
Dante, give me an arcane check, and you can give that to me with advantage also.
I think I might know where it is.
Nope.
Ooh, Dante. Yeah, you're like, wow. Let's take a look at that. And he's like, well, I found it in the barrel, and he says, all of a sudden, I heard the plop, and you got inspiration too. So if you want to use the inspiration, you can use inspiration. He says it plopped in as I was ducking down, and it plopped in, and this is what I found, okay. So as you yes. So you're like, holy shit, this is volatile, as he's twirling it around his fingers. You're like,
so I'll go, hold on,
Yeah.
and then I'll kind of take it off his hand or whatever.
Yeah,
and I say, if this is what I think it is, these little beads is what did that explosion. So this is not safe for you to have.
Yeah, you notice this as a necklace of fireballs, and you know that these things are very volatile, and he's just swinging around carefree, and you basically grab onto his hand and say, whoa, 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 but you can see that one of the beads has been plucked off of the golden chains, and there's still 7 beads that are on this necklace. Well, one of the chains is empty.
Yeah, and so I stopped the kid, and I'm like, did you see who threw it?
No, mister. I didn't see anybody who threw it. I just saw that the little red ball hit the ground, and then it exploded, and now that oh my gosh, these things can explode any time. He goes, he said, here, take it, mister. I don't want it. My friend's already dead because of this. I don't want it. And he hands it over to you.
Do I don't recognize the boy from the alley, or have I seen him before?
No, you didn't see him ducking behind the barrel.
No, I mean, do I know him? Have I
From
seen him in the
from the
alley?
past,
You know?
from the past 14 days, you guys have been here, kind of hanging around the alley. Yeah, you could see. Yeah, his, you know of the
Okay,
halflings
so I
that
know
were
he's a
playing
local
music and
kid.
stuff. Yeah, he's a local kid. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I said,
Yeah.
so I tell him, hey, you go home and you get safe. Just get out of here because something bad might happen. Just go home and hide under your bed.
Okay, Mister, I'll do that. And he says, I hope nobody else gets hurt. My friends, oh my gosh, their parents, they're going to be devastated. And he just kind of runs off into the crowd. And by the time this starts to happen, you guys are still kind of, you can hear like bells ringing in the distance, like the city guard is on their way and stuff. So you would probably imagine, and you can hear the big bells ringing at the different guard posts and stuff. So I would say probably in the next couple of minutes or so, you would probably imagine that the Griffin Cavalry will be here, the watch, the guard, the Magistan protectors, etc. They'll probably all be here. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna stuff the necklace of fireballs in my pocket and or kind of hide it away. And then I wanna look at the bodies, like who all's dead, who do I recognize from the
And I think I'm gonna turn around and with Dantes. I want to kind of hang out with him and walk back with him. But as we're walking back, I'm gonna say, well, good news is lots more people to hire.
That's a really good point, Donk. Actually, that's
it's
pretty
good but bad.
Yeah, that big old line that you had outside of the manor has dispersed as well, but a couple of hardcore fans are still in line. Yeah,
we call those alcoholics, Dave.
Sure.
Urka, we call those professionals.
Professional drinkers. You don't see anything on the roofs. In fact, you kind of do a couple more circles, Urka, and you cannot see anything on top of the rooftops. Now, as for the dead, because you said that you wanted to look for the dead, you wanted to look at the different dead people, Dantes, you notice that she's pretty badly char, and it's an elderly female. She had a cane. There's just a portion of her cane that's left that wasn't burnt. You've seen her walking around a couple times, throughout the last couple of weeks of being here in the alley. There's a couple of cloaked males. They're in leather armor, and they have long swords, which they're about the only ones that have weapons and stuff on them. There's a couple of females that are humans, and a nicely dressed half-elf man. They were killed. There's a male gnome. He's wearing a burnt cloak and clutching a dagger. And the heat has actually...
Is it too late to loot the bodies?
I mean, there's people all around.
I'm not looting the body. I'm if anyone gets close or tries to loot, I'll shoo them away. Yeah. I'm making it real obvious that I'm not actually touching anything.
So you're wanting to basically not take anything off of the bodies because that could probably incriminate you, basically.
Right, exactly.
Right. So that's a good idea.
Everybody in the crowd watching, it's very obvious I'm not actually touching it.
Yeah, so why don't you give yourself an inspiration for that? That's a good thing. You can have an inspiration for that, and then after the gnome, and remember this gnome was wearing a cloak and was actually clutching a dagger in his hand, and he was so badly burnt that his hand has been petrified holding the dagger. And then there's, of course, the two female halflings that were playing the flute and the fiddle, and the two male halflings that were also killed from the explosion that were dancing, which were the friends of the little boy.
Well, this guy had his weapon out, so
Yep.
Something was going on.
Two humans with long swords.
Short swords, yeah.
Did they have their swords out?
No, they had sheathed long swords. Yeah, I'm sorry, long swords. You're right, Epter. Sorry about that. Yeah, they had sheathed long swords, and they were clad in leather armor with skull caps. So I guess you guys want to do some investigate, and in fact, if you guys want to, take anything off of the bodies, you could, do a sleight of hand, but you have to take into consideration, like what Dante said, as he's shooing everybody back, you don't want to take anything off of the bodies. But you could still do that with a sleight of hand, but then there's a chance somebody could probably see you and then alert the authorities when they get there, because the bells are getting louder as this is all going on. So if you're inspecting the bodies, give me an investigation check.
So, Dave, are we going to? I guess Woodcraft didn't go over either. Are we going to be able to go the other way and see if we can find out about the guy that ran off? That
via the rooftops. The bodies? Oh yeah, the guy that exactly. You can definitely go that way if you want. You can go to the east, and it's the northeast entrance. And he went down as basically as Lola told you, or whatever her name was. It looks like he went down the alley heading towards the Bent Nail, which remember the Bent Nail is a furniture store. So